Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC fan reaction show. It has finished Exeter 0, Ipswich Town FC 2. 3 points on the road, done and dusted, in front of the Sky cameras. Another win. Love to see it. And I want to hear from you, wonderful town faithful, this afternoon. What are you feeling now we have done our jobs? Get involved in the live chat. I'll read out as many comments as I can. Hit the link that I've just posted to have your say live on the show. You don't need a webcam. You just need a microphone to come on and have your say. I'll ask you 3 questions. Your thoughts on the game, a key moment in the game, and your player of the game. If you've got anything else you want to add, you are, of course, more than welcome to do so. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and become a Talking Town 5th standard today by hitting join on YouTube or heading to Kofi. And you can set your amounts and you can set up what you need to on there. Right, now that's out of the way. Super chats, of course, are all read out. We'll get a few comments and then I'll bring in whoever's waiting in the VIP area. Rob Smith, that was much easier than I thought it would be. Superb and important 3 points. Emerson Fairweather. Burgess was an absolute rock at the back. Yep, he was solid. Solid at the back. Woo. There you go. I'm obviously, as you can see, very happy to get 3 points today. Matt Stanley, a good 3 point professional in that, but I did feel for a large period we were pretty sloppy. Tractor driver, that will do nicely. Professional controlled performance. Ben Hobbs hopes Davis injury not too bad. Yeah, likewise. Looked like a groin. And I know how that feels, to be fair, because I've got out of bed this morning having pulled a hamstring. I'm at that age in life where getting out of bed now has its dangers. So I know what it feels like to pull a muscle in your top half of your leg. It's not nice. It's not nice. So thoughts and prayers with Leaf. Max Pitchford, we're a better team with Burgess in it. Dare I say it, on paper, he's our least glamorous one. Great comment. I'll put that to whoever comes on the show today. Adrian Garrett, nice clean sheet. It certainly was, Adrian. Quite a love a clean sheet, haven't you? I will just put the link in the chat once again. Click that link, get involved, have your say on your show, the show for fans, by fans of the world's greatest football team. And let's have a sneaky peek at the league table following that game today. There it is, my friends. We are, of course, sit in second, now 1 point behind Plymouth, who are away at Burton. They'll kick off in an hour's time. And, of course, 4 ahead of Wednesday, who play Shrewsbury at home once again in an hour's time. But we have done our jobs. We have done what we needed to do. It is over to them. I will go ahead and start with Mr. Brandon Carter. Mr. Brandon Carter, how are you, sir?
I'm not bad, thank you. Much better to see us win. We love winning on Sky, don't we? We love it.
We do. Look at that. Gets on Sky every week, I say now.
Yes, absolutely. And a clean sheet against Exeter, against their front three. Good result, I think. Good result.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they've scored a number of goals. Exeter, they're a good team. They set themselves up well. As Sky said, a young manager that's one of the better ones in the division. But we've come through it. What were your thoughts on the game then? Because, you know, at 2-0, I don't think anyone felt comfortable.
No, I preferred it at 1-0 than 2-0, if I'm being completely honest with you. I thought that the first 20 minutes reminded me very much so of the first 20 minutes we played against Cheltenham, where it looks like we should be 3 or 4 up in the first 20 minutes. And then the game sort of, I think Exeter got their foot on the ball, but I think our shape defensively was really, really good. So they weren't able to create chances with their possession, which then meant that the game sort of dwindled a little bit through to half time. I think we're very deserving of our win. We did have some other chances where we could arguably have had a couple more goals, but it was good that in the first 20 minutes our creativity and our chances were being made by Harness and Chaplin, who, as we've sort of touched on in previous weeks, have been off the boil a little bit to their standards. So it was good to see. I think Harness was brilliant. My man of the match today. I think every time we had an attack, it seemed like Harness was involved in some way. He gave the ball away a couple of times in the first half. I was shouting at him to close down the cross a couple of times. But whenever we looked dangerous, Marcus Harness was at the forefront of that. And I think that's credit to him.
a much better game from him than today. Your man of the match. Didn't get the goal that perhaps he, golden opportunity in that first half. But Sky said he didn't get enough purchase on it. How did you see that?
I think it's one of those ones. The ball in from Chaplin is such a good one that
Great ball.
You could arguably say that if Harness doesn't get a touch on it at all, it's one of those ones that might sneak in at the back post, because the only reason the keeper's got there is he's moved to the front post expecting there to be a touch in a way.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, you could say Harness has got too much on it, and the keeper's done really well to sort of read where the ball's ended up going. He didn't take that one, but he took a chance from a corner, which I think when Harness and Chaplin get their heads on corners, I really do get quite confused, because Chaplin had a free header after 5 minutes and he's like 4 foot nothing, isn't he?
Got under it as well.
Yeah. And I think when players like Harness score a header, I think that's when it really shows that the other team haven't defended it very well. No. If a 6'4", if Burgess or a Ladapo or Wolfie gets their head on that and puts it in the back of the net, then you think they might have just wanted it and had a bit more behind them. But when Harness gets his head on it from 5 yards out, you've got to question the defending. But Leif Davis with another assist. I think we've got
that category first. That was it's what you want from £1 million man, isn't it? First.
And we're now joint top in the amount of goals scored from corners this year. And the couple of years that we've been in League One, we've hardly scored a single one all year. So I think that's a category where we knew we had to improve, and I think we can put a tick in that box now to say that when we win a corner, we actually look like we might score from it, which is a good thing.
Absolutely. Perfect. Brandon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good was this afternoon?
Give it a 9.
Perfect.
Nothing's ever perfect, is it?
Sadly not.
No.
But it's as close as you're going to get to it at this stage. You're back on Monday. We will see you Monday evening, Mr. Brandon Carter.
It's coming home.
It's coming home, son. Look after yourself, Brandon. There, got a couple of comments. I've got Lee Anderson, Harness or Morsey for Andy, man of the match. Great number 9 performance from Freddie. That's who my man of the match is. And for those that have been with us since the summer, he was also my player of the year candidate. I'm pleased to see him finally coming alive, Mr. Lee Anderson.
Yeah, good, isn't it? It's funny how it changes around. He's getting goals at the right time. First of all, he's not scoring. Now he is. Then he's only scoring when we're winning 3-0. And now, and not scoring the crucial goals. And now he is scoring the crucial goals. I mean, I think everyone just need, not everyone, because not everyone's on his back, but people just need to let him go play his football. I'm with you. I thought he had a really good game today. But I don't think anybody was particularly weak. But I don't think anyone was particularly better than anyone else. I thought it was a really good, solid team performance. And one of those away days, again, one of those away day performances where we've managed to hold on to a lead. We've gotten those in front, and we've kept professional. We've played the game at the right way. We've slowed it down when we needed to, and we've picked our time to go and get the second and then the third. But we were, should they have had a penalty? That was at first I didn't think so, but Davis is on the wrong side. If that's in the centre circle, what happens? Is that a free kick?
That's the penalty. Chaplin's fouled.
Yeah, well, that may be the case, but the point is that's straight from the kickoff at 2-0. That's sloppy. The bit. It's sloppy. That's Edwards trying to play in a tight area, way to go when. It's easy said in hindsight. I know we try to play through the lines all the time, but they must talk about those couple of minutes after we've scored, because that's when we seem to be most vulnerable, like it is for most teams. But yeah, that should have gone away, really. He should have kicked that. That should have gone away. And that's that's the only really thing I could pick up on today, I think. Just that moment of 2-0, we're cruising in the game anyway, and we just give them an opportunity. And a referee had, as the old Andy Gray used to say, gives the referee a decision to make as such.
It does.
But I think if he's in the centre circle, that's a free kick. But it was right borderline for me, to be honest. Should we have had one as well? Possibly. But yeah, great goal from Ladapo. And the comments earlier about Harness. When Harness scored, I turned around to my lad and said, I don't think he's had a particularly good game. I thought he had moments in the first half where he's quite sloppy in a possession when we're trying to keep the ball. They weren't passes that he was trying to thread the ball through or anything like that. They were simple, 90% you should be making that straightforward pass. So, but credit to him, he got the assist and the goal, and that's that matters. But a couple of balls from Sam Morsey today inside the fullbacks, second half to stretch them, and one from Humphreys as well. There's some fantastic balls on the counter, and I think that suited us a bit. And Exeter tried to play. They gave us the gaps that we needed, and in the end, we exploited them. So another one ticked off, and we soldier on.
Good man. And your player of the match? Your man of the match?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought Burgess had a good game, particularly at the end. He headed everything when he needed to, and it's mentioned on the Sky. Morsey again, some through balls, but I don't know. I haven't got one. I haven't got one. I think there's no one that stood head. As I said earlier, I don't think there's anyone that stood head and shoulders above the others. There was just a brilliant all-round performance. I couldn't pick one. No one stood out for me. They're all good.
That's all right. We'll let you off. Lee, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, no worries.
Yourself. All the best, my
care.
man. Coxy, how are you? Welcome back.
Great to be back. Yeah.
Good man. Look at that. 3 points in the bank. We've got Phil and the fisherman still to come as well. Good afternoon from the good doctor. Great result and really enjoyed the game. Burgess on Harness man of the match. We've got 100 and odd people watching on YouTube. Hit the like button, please. Amy says Harness man of the match for me by a mile. We'll also have many hundreds watching back on catch up. So hit that like button if you're watching on catch up. It's the thumbs up button. How did you see the game today, Coxy?
Well, that's what I said pre-game. I was hoping for a sort of no-frills professional performance. I think we got that. It was a completely different Exeter City than what we saw on the 3 weeks ago on Halloween against Plymouth.
In the derby against Plymouth.
Yeah, I think that's more down to Kieran McKenna's tactics. I mean, every 5 minutes you had the Sky commentator going on about Stansfield, but I think that they done a number of them. I think that was. The tactics were spot on. They kept him quiet all day. He's obviously the danger man, but it's a professional performance, 2-0. But just to echo what Brandon said, I think it's funny. I think that's just psychological from sort of recent games. I felt more comfortable when we were 1-0 up than when we were 2-0 up.
You're not alone. I think many people also felt the same.
Crazy, but that's the way it was.
And that's not a good place to be, is it? Really, as a football club, when you start to score goals, but you get more nervous as it ticks up. So games like today will go a long way to put in the ghosts of Charlton, etc. to bed, won't it?
Yeah, that's is it. You hit now that is the Charlton game, and it come back to sort of.
But Sky loved to mention, by the way, didn't they? They love to keep.
Yeah, almost as many times as they mentioned Stansfield.
Yeah. I mean, lad's a good player for me on Football Manager.
Yes,
Jay Stansfield's the next Lionel Messi. He won't stop scoring, but we kept him very quiet today. Big credit to the back three, back four, Janoy, Cameron, Luke, Leaf. It is Cameron Burgess, isn't it, Coxy? Don't leave me hanging if I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
I always get the Burgess twins mixed up. I do, but it's great credit to them. They kept them really quiet, restricted them. Andy says K-Mac masterclass. They have learned from past mistakes. Are you ready to say that just quite yet, Coxie, or would you like to see a couple of more games where you take the lead and don't surrender it before you say past mistakes have been learnt from?
Yeah, the second option. I would like to see a few more games where we get the lead and hold the lead like we did today. Yeah, just to gain a bit more confidence in that statement.
Yeah. Adi says, "Is it coffee with sugar?" Never a coffee with sugar, Adi. Never put sugar in your coffee. Why waste good coffee with the taste of sugar?
No, thank you, Adi. He's sweet enough.
I wouldn't say that. But I had to cook my eggs 3 bloody times just to go back to the pre-game.
That first picture did look a bit dodgy. I was like, the second one, I think it was pretty much
spot on. That was the third attempt. The first picture I sent you, it was really dry. Then the second one was undercooked. And the third one was just spot on. But we've got no eggs left now, so I need to buy some eggs. Anyway, player of the match, Coxie.
Player of the match for me was Harness. We highlighted him in the pre-show. Him and Chaplin. Chaplin went off with like a back injury where he's holding his back, and Wes Burns was sort of saying it back. But yeah, Harness, I mean, that first when he sort of headed it across, I thought that was good. He could have gone for it. I don't think he would have scored from the header, but yeah, he stuck it on the plate for our Freddie, your man of the match, and a player in form, and he's stuck it away, no frills. Thank you very much.
Wonderful cushion assist, though, wasn't it? From Harness. What a lovely assist! Just
lovely little header across, yeah.
Enticing, got the right pace on the ball. All the Dapper got to do is get it on target, and we've taken the lead.
Yeah, and his second goal's direct from a corner. Leif Davis again, and he's
yes,
got free of even though Sky was saying, "Oh, that's bad defending," but yeah, he got free and put it away.
It's only bad defending if you punish it.
Absolutely, and we punished it.
You've got to do that. I'm pleased somebody at Pullman Road was finally listening long enough to the show to hear me called for Leif Davis to take set pieces. They've finally listened, obviously, and it's come to fruition. Amy says, "Do we think they should have a penalty?" Phil Blundell, resident referee expert, should they have had a penalty?
I was looking at it. I was in the pub watching the game.
Good man.
I'm saying when they showed the replay a couple of times, I think the difference there is it's one of those for a referee that is not an easy one to call. I think for me, just looking at it, the reason why the referee didn't give it necessarily is because Davis didn't use his arms. It was more kind of body to body contact, and that I would say it is a grey area that. But don't forget that we had a penalty call in the second half where the referee didn't give it. So I think in that respect, the referee did well today. Had a consistent time with making the decisions that he had. So for me, not quite. Although it was one of them where you think, like Lee said, I'm gonna say if I'd probably been in the centre circle, he may have blown. I thought that the referee today didn't really put a foot wrong. There's probably maybe a couple of minor decisions that might have gone the other way, but other than that, it was just a bit too close for me. And the reason why he didn't give it is because I feel as though that no kind of arms or hands were used in sort of making body contact. It was just kind of torso to torso, which is, again, it's a grey area. And the referee had doubt in his mind. If you have any shred of doubt in your mind when you're making, quick snap decisions, especially when the game is going at 70, 80, 100 miles an hour, if there's any shred of doubt in your mind, don't give it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Any decisions.
You mentioned you were watching in the pub. So give us a flavour of what yourself and the people in the pub were feeling. Was it a feeling of control that Town have got this in the bank? Was it a feel of nerves? Was it a feel of doubt? Because when you're in your own watching it, your own subconscious is what is driving you. So you're sitting at home perhaps thinking, oh my God, we're going to concede. What was the general feeling of yourself and the people in the pub?
Well, I think with many games that I've seen Town play this season at home and on TV, that at times it has been a match of two halves. So I certainly felt that Exeter would come on stronger in the second half, from half-time kickoff. They did that. I felt they were more compact in midfield, made it a bit more difficult for Town to come through that midfield. And they did have 2 or 3 patches in the second half where they did that, I felt. But I think overall the general mood in the pub there was that Town were in pretty much control of the game from the first whistle, and we actually did quite a professional job this afternoon, and it was quite pleasing to watch in the end.
Are we a better team with Burgess? Are we a better team with Cameron Burgess in the side, Phil?
I think for me, I said it about 2 weeks ago or so that if you looked at the amount of goals, since he picked up that injury a couple of months ago, and he was out of the team for a number of games, that I felt that we did concede more goals without him. I think when he's in the team, we don't concede as many. And I think today, especially in the second half, in the last 15, 20 minutes, I think, he showed that, I think Burgess provides, for me, he provides that more of an aerial support to that back three. And I think that this afternoon's second half, that in the last stages, that he showed why he's needed in the team.
Absolutely.
No nonsense.
No, yeah, clear your lines, get it up and get it out, which is sometimes you need. When you've got that lead, and we perhaps could have done with that a couple of more times in other.
If we had Burgess against Cheltenham, would we have lost that in the last minutes?
Maybe not. Maybe a simple ball into the next road, not road, is what you need.
I think there's probably something about Burgess. With any team where you tend to get a player that maybe he doesn't stand out for, maybe his skill, or I don't know, maybe what he actually does on the pitch. He's just, I think for me, he's just one of those players that when he's in the team, we don't concede as many goals. And I think statistically, when you look at that over the course of the season, I think that you would see that. And certainly the first, 9 or 10 games where we were keeping clean sheets, it was just up to that point that I noticed, that when he picked up the injury and was out of the team, that, we tended to concede, 2 or 3 more goals. And I think that hopefully now to the end of this calendar year that, we should keep, a couple more clean sheets with him, I hope. And also, I saw a stat. I think they showed it on. I think it was early second half. A stat about us, scoring goals from corners. I think it was us, Exeter and Portsmouth, being the top teams in the divisions. And I think, that goal from Harness this lunchtime, has put us, I think, joint, lead top goal scorers from corners with Portsmouth this season, which is an interesting fact because. Last season from set pieces we weren't great, so that's nice to see. And also, I think I was actually quite disappointed with Exeter today. I thought that they would come on stronger than what they did. I thought that we kept Brown and Stansfield quiet,
which is too good.
And maybe I think.
I
think probably Burgess is probably one of those defenders that with his presence, not necessarily, what he does on the pitch, he probably just has that effect, on our back line. And I think this lunchtime it showed that, I think that he's a player that, when he starts, the goal ratio comes down for me.
Before I let you go, Phil, your man of the match, please.
Well, for me, just for his goal involvement, I would go with Harness. But I felt that there were times where, again, Harness's, passing wasn't great. Ladapo had a good game, with his goal. If he doesn't play as well and he scores, then that's always a plus. I was saying to the guy that I was sat to, next to in the pub, he was pissed off after the Charlton game, and I said to him, I was not happy with it, but as a positive, that was the first time we scored 4 goals in the league game. And I said to him that, I don't agree with referees, adding time on 4 goals scored. I've had this argument with Cruncher, and I don't agree.
Now, don't it, Phil?
Well, I would say being a former referee, I wouldn't add time on for a goal scored. Okay, that's the first thing. And secondly, to add time on to injury time, it doesn't look good for the referee for me. And now I understand Richard's point of view that he said that he felt, because he was at the game and he saw that he felt there was a couple of minutes where we were celebrating after that was a 3rd or 4th goal, which is why the referee added it on. But it looks silly. And okay, and yes, our game management in the last couple of minutes was really poor, which was why we conceded those 2 extra goals. But it's something that I don't like to see referees do, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. All right, Phil, as always, insightful, delightful. Look after yourself. We'll speak very soon. Ben wasn't disappointed, Coxy, in Exeter not being as good. I can't say I was either. But,
no, neither was I. I was a bit worried that the Exeter who played in that local derby was going to turn up today. Thankfully, no. And as Phil said, that they had that sort of 5-10 minutes when they obviously had the rock up from the coach. But
which you'd expect at home. You would expect that.
Yeah.
Nice to see a team change its shape for us, though, as well. Actually, change from what they were. Perhaps that's why they wasn't as effective or didn't look as effective, because they've come into the game. And obviously, I'm going by what Sky was saying at the start of their commentary, and they've changed a little bit of their pattern, their shape, their style to counteract the possession based of Town, which is good to see. That means we're affecting the opposition even before we've set foot on the grass, which is always a benefit. We know that from McCarthy's time here, don't we? Where it was us adapting to everybody else.
Yeah.
Curate. Our shape was great today. Stopped executing forward. 80. Perhaps getting goals from set pieces could be the extra push we need to get promotion on the season. John Warren. While Harness scored and assisted on the other, I wouldn't give him man of the match. His play is too sloppy as well. Humphries is growing in maturity every game. I thought he was superb. Craig. Harness gave us exactly what the Pompey fan said he would. He'll get his share of goals and assists, but don't expect them every week. Don't forget, you come a Talking Town Fist Tanner, hit the join button on YouTube, or head to Kofi. The Fisherman, your boy Humphreys, talk to me about it.
I am your father.
Fucking hope not. Evening. Hello, Michael.
That.
Yeah, your boy Humphreys. Talk to me about Humphreys, Mike, because you've been calling for.
Class.
Go on.
Another masterclass from the midfield. I'll tell you, there was a few things that made a difference today. Forget about the scoreline, forget about the win. We started back. Burgess, by far the better one out of Edmondson and Burgess. I like Fridge. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's suited to that left side of the three or that left side. For me, Burgess was no nonsense. Head of the ball, get rid, rose head.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kick the ball to the moon. If in doubt, get it
Kick
out.
it in the terrace houses at the back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Secondly, I thought Morsey was sat a bit deeper today, and I thought he did what I've always wanted, what I like him doing, and that is to playing his more natural role, and that's to sit back and mop up. Sorry, someone's just there. We are. Sit back and mop up, and and just do the simple things right. Harness, I thought he had a good game. I wouldn't say he was man of the match, because there was times when I was getting a bit frustrated with it. I was like, seriously, professional footballer, can't trap the ball. Seriously, come on. Pass the ball. No, there goes the opposition. Okay, thanks. But man of the match. Cool, that's a tough one. I thought Burgess was good. I thought Morsey was good. I thought Humphreys was... Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Humphreys, because he's a young lad and he's playing really well. Some of the balls he's spraying, and people saying, at the start he was going to be too lightweight, he's getting pushed off the ball. He just battles, and I like him. I really do. I think one of the commentators on I Follow said he looks a bit like Phil Foden. That's a big shout, isn't it? But look, the Dapo movement today in the box looked a lot better. Great ball from Harness for the first goal. I thought Edwards looked a bit. I don't know. He looked a bit dodgy when he came on. A couple of mistakes could have cost us. But look, we got 3 points against an informed Exeter side. What can we want more? Just exactly what we need, isn't it?
Absolutely is. Yeah, a really solid away win. Obviously sets us up for a nice afternoon. Puts pressure on the first and third position teams. Were you ever concerned at 2-0 up like many were, Mike, or were you
do you know what?
confident?
No, I weren't. Not today. Not with Burgess at the back. I weren't. You look at his record. With him in the team and without him, there's a big difference. And I didn't think I didn't feel under pressure. I didn't think maybe Exeter didn't have the answer. I don't know, but I just felt that we just look. I think the possession was probably 55-45, something silly like that. We didn't absolutely control the game, but I felt that we weren't the case. We were in control of the game all the time. I just felt that we were
not far off.
Opposed. How far was I off?
It's 52% we finished with 13 shots, 6 on target. They had 1 shot on target at home. That is incredible away performance.
I think, like I say, I said it online. That was a bloody good win, if I'm honest, against a side that has been scoring goals of late, and to keep them quiet, and to come away with another away win. If we could just sort this out at home. Then we're just going to run away with this league. But until let's hope and pray that the few games that have been not so great, shall we say, defensively and maybe forward play. Let's just hope and say what Cruncher said. It was a blip in our season, and that is our blip. And I'll quite happily take that if that's a blip. I know we're not going to win every game between now and the end of the season, but we've got to, like I said, when you look at the ground and you see balls flying out of the ground because the ground's so small, you think, we need to be in the next level of leagues, and you know, and sort of, and maybe competing one day to get promoted out of there. But right now, a win is a win.
Mm-hmm.
We're all happy. I don't care what the other teams do right now because we've done our bit, you know. And on to Tuesday night, which I'll be there. Can you believe that? I shall be there Tuesday night.
Love that. Love that. Mike, we appreciate you coming on the show, my man. Look after yourself.
Cheers,
Bye,
Mike.
my man. Take care,
All
guys.
the best. See you
Cheers,
Tuesday.
Mike.
I didn't say no. I know. Good. Duncan, new member. Thank you very much, Duncan. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family, or welcome back to the family, Big Dunk. Follow his lead. Hit the join button. Become a Talking Town member. Fifth standard today. John Warren is one of those people. Cowley on Sky has mentioned our budget once. He's been very complimentary. 80 Eli me to the Talking family. I don't know. Anyway, Burgess adds still to our defence, and he pings a great forward pass. Duncan, perfect team performance, singing our way to the championship. Philip, we're now 10 points to the 4th place. Peterborough, absolutely love that. I did put a poll into the live chat for those watching live with us at the moment, and there are many, many of you. We've got Ladapo, who was my choice for man of the match. We've got Harness, who was Brandon and Coxy's choice for man of the match. Lee copped out a little bit and went with a team, so I did put it down. And then Mike went with Humphreys. All 4 options are in the I think also Phil went with Harness, didn't he, if I remember rightly? I didn't write it down at the time. I do apologise, Phil, if it was different.
Sure
But yeah,
did, yeah.
Live poll at the moment, it is Harness with 36%, so make sure you vote on that before we depart. Before we do depart, let's have a quick run through 1 to 11 team ratings. We're not going to spend too long on this one. Christian Walton.
Christian Walton didn't really have a lot to do. You know, he saved that chance in the first half, but then the Exeter player didn't really hit it. So yeah, solid 7 for Senior Walton. Danasin, yeah, we didn't know if he'd play today. So again, I can't think of what he done wrong in the game. So yeah, he can have a 7.
Did I give? No, I didn't. I didn't admit Burgess to give my man a chance. My man doesn't need a chance. He won us the game today single-handedly. No, seriously, nobody mentioned him. I was writing it down. It's a bit of paper here as they were telling me it, and I was waiting for Burgess, but nobody said him. What can I do? Can't get the contributors. No, I'm joking. Okay, Donation. Wolfenden, Coxy.
Wolfenden, yeah. Again, he's he was solid. Can't remember anything he'd done wrong. Yeah, so he'd be another 7 for me.
Okay. Burgess.
Yeah, he was. No, he brought a different dimension. No nonsense. What we were hoping for, and he's certainly done that, especially in that sort of closing stages. If he wouldn't have been there, perhaps they would have got one, and then we would all been biting our fingernails and other bits. But yeah, so a score for Burgess. I've got to give him an 8.
Okay, we're gonna get a bit quicker than this. I want some short, sharp. What's on your mind, Coxy? All right, for this midfielders. Burns, go.
Burns, not Burns at his best, so a 6.
6. Humphreys.
Humphreys, a 6 for me. Perhaps I'm not watching him enough. I don't see this. I see the guy that knocked off the ball a lot. So yes, he is a talent, but yes, 6.
John Bigson for a 9 for Burgess. Morsey,
done his captain's role today. Didn't get booked. I will give him a 7.
Always a benefit. Always.
He got a 6, but I give him a 7 because he didn't get booked.
Yes, which I did think they were quite accurate on Sky when they were talking about the need for Morsey now to stay on the field. You know,
yes.
And when Humphreys went down, I tweeted out, "Can anyone play in centre midfield? Send your CV to Ipswich Town, because if you lose one of those two now, you are short. You got I don't know who naturally steps into that role now. Kamara, but he's still somewhat away from fitness.
Yeah, didn't
Davis,
get any game time today. Yeah,
no, he didn't. Which I think tells me he'll probably try and play at 60 to 90 on Tuesday.
Perhaps, yeah. Davis again, yeah, that wasn't a penalty for me. Yeah, I will give him a solid 7. A bit worried. He sort of, was it a hamstring? Is it groin? We could be losing him for a wee while, but hopefully not. But time will tell.
Luckily, there's not a league game for a while. You got Papa John's, then Buxton, And then your next league game now is Fleetwood on the 3rd of December, which is
Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, you're right, 2nd of December. So it's still 2 weeks. So you know, that might fall right for us. Chaplin.
Yeah, well, we said before the start, him and Harness, he was disappointing, so I'm going to give him a generous 6, if not a 5.
And Ladapo.
Ladapo, your man of the match. Yeah, yes, it was what we want our strikers to keep being in form, and he's in form at the minute. So yes, I'm going to give him an 8.
Did I miss somebody?
Yeah, Harness.
Thank you, Harness.
My man of the match, but he still did. He gets an 8.
An 8. All right. And our man of the match from the community is Harness with 36% of the vote. Thank you all for voting. Town have won 2-0 away from home. We are back live tomorrow at 1:30 for Talking Town. Myself and the media mogul breaking down our thoughts and feelings as we've digested it. All eyes now to Plymouth and Wednesday. What can they do? We are back tomorrow, 1:30. Hit the subscribe button, like button, join the family by becoming Talking Town Fifth Standard. Here's the Bricktop Peter Cox. Thank you to Lee, Phil, Mike, Brandon, and of course you wonderful people at home for getting involved in the live chat. But until tomorrow, see you soon.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.